WCRS radio. Let's see, we're live on the radio. Check. We're live on Facebook. Check. I'm Ann Eller, and I have three good-looking gals over there from the YMCA with all kinds of information for you. We just thought since they're running this promotion over there, you ought to find out all the things that are available at the YMCA right here in Greenwood and in Uptown Greenwood. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Jan. How are you doing today, Jan?
And I'm doing wonderful. I hope you are as well.
I am doing good. I also have Sunny and Sharissa here. How are y'all doing today?
Fantastic. Very good.
Very good. Okay. All right. Well, they are looking forward to telling us all about it. First off, let's just talk a little bit about what the promotion is that y'all have going through the end of the month.
So through the end of the month, we are having a join in 2025 for 25. So until January 31st, you can join our YMCA for $25.
Okay. And so through the end of the month?
Yes.
Through the end of the month. All right. And by joining that, what's that mean after that first month?
After that first month, your first draft will go into you'll get a whole month free, and then you'll be still a member of the Y and get to enjoy all our fun stuff.
Okay. And Sharissa, why don't you tell us, what's your favorite programs at the Y? I mean, there's so many, but what's your favorite ones?
That's a great question, Anne. I would have to say our evidence-based health programs. We have Rock City Boxing, which is for people with Parkinson's disease. That just really warms your heart on a different level, and it's nice to be able to help people on a bigger scale. Mm-hmm. I'm a little particular to our diabetes prevention program.
Why is that?
Because it's my baby.
Well, that's an important one in today's world. What is that about?
Yeah. Well, it's about limiting your risk of developing type 2 diabetes, which is really high for where we're at here in
Greenwood,
South Carolina.
Right.
So it's about diabetes prevention. So people that are either pre-diabetic or at high risk, this program's for them. I actually have a new cohort starting February 4th. So anyone out there, if you're interested, there's still time to sit down with me and get signed up.
Now, does that program have a beginning and an end, or a beginning only and never ending, or how does that work?
I still have people that I see from my first cohort, which was
almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah. I'll match the energy that you put in.
Okay. But I mean, does it start at a certain time? Do you start a group, or do you start people individually?
We start as a group.
A group.
So that would be February 4th, and that's going to be a Tuesday at 4:30.
Okay. All right. So that's a program that you can sign up for. Now, Sunny, there's some other programs out there, too.
Yes, I would have to say my favorite is our Live Strong cancer program. That's my baby. It is.
You guys aren't territorial, are you?
Of course not. It is a 3-month small group personal training for those that have had cancer. You could have a current cancer diagnosis. You could have had it 20 years ago. We just meet small group to help improve that quality of life through strength training, balance exercises, stretching, just to improve that overall quality of life.
Okay. All right. So, and when does that meet?
That meets, my next cohort will be February 11th. That is a Tuesday at 2:30.
Now, what do you mean a cohort? That sounds like you're gallivanting with somebody or something.
I'll just put it like this. It's a small group where everybody kind of has the same goals, where we just meet and we want to help improve everyone's quality of life.
Okay. All right. So, because you were talking about, Sharissa was talking about a cohort, and, you don't understand that lingo, right?
It's a new program.
New program.
Yeah, the start of a new program.
Okay. All right. There you go. All right. Now, Jan is here with us, Jan Rushton. Now, Jan, what's your favorite programs?
Well, my baby.
Yeah, your baby, of course. Well, we have to get those out of the way
I
first,
know,
right?
I gotta get that. So my baby, my passion is the Parkinson's program. You know, in the beginning, I had several clients that I used to personal train with Parkinson's, and it's just kind of morphed. This April will be 4 years that our program will have been in existence. But you know, if you have Parkinson's, if you've just been diagnosed with Parkinson's, please come see us. You know, this is a boxing-based program. I say it's new for Greenwood, but this program has been in existence for 16 years. It started in Indiana. So it works.
What does it do? What does it do? What is the purpose? Because I know there's a lot of people who have either been just diagnosed or just finding out or may not have known about the program.
So what does it do? Well, what research has proven over these past 16 years is with Parkinson's, the harder you push them, the better they become. What happens is it's a brain disease. And so we're going to make the brain have to work in overtime. And when that happens, a lot of the symptoms and their issues, now remember, this isn't a cure, but it can slow the progression of Parkinson's. And that's what we do. You know, if I can help you slow the progression of this disease, you know, and give you a better quality of life for, say, another 8 years, to me, that's a win. Right. You know, people a lot of times when they're diagnosed with Parkinson's tend to just go home and sit and deteriorate. You know, this program, it's fun. You make new friends because you're with all like-minded people. So everybody in the group has Parkinson's. That is the only demographic that can be in that group. So if you were to have like muscular dystrophy, no. You can't be part of this group. It is only people with Parkinson's, but it works. And, you know, we've got the statistics to prove that our program works. South Regional Director Alex from OLC came and saw our program, and he endorses it 100%. So we work together, which is nice. So if I have a client in the program that might need, we call it fine-tuning or a tune-up, I'll call over to OLC and, you know, send them that way for some physical therapy, specialized just for Parkinson's. And when they have people coming in with Parkinson's, they send them back to us. So it's a win-win.
Wow. Well, that is definitely something worth doing and worth finding out. Now, how does somebody get involved in the program? Is there a particular cohort program starting date?
No, now for our program, no.
Okay.
No. We run all year long. 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. What they would need to do is call the main YMCA. They can ask to speak with me, Jan Rushton, you know, and I can walk them through. We have to do, you know, an assessment. You know, I usually suggest before we even do all of that, just come and watch the program.
Right.
You know, because sometimes people go, oh, that's not my cup of tea, which is fine. You know, most people, once they see it and actually talk to the participants, then they
Who
go,
wouldn't want to be able to put some boxing gloves on and beat the crap out of a bag, right?
Seriously, I mean, that is something that we asked them. I said, who doesn't want to hit things? You get to hit truly heavy bags, speed bags. I mean, our program covers everything from speech and voice activation to balance to eye-hand coordination. So, I mean, nothing is left out. But every week that program changes. It never stays the same, which is the magic. So we're always keeping that brain active and having to work overtime.
Now, Jan, I guess you probably have seen the results with somebody that came into the program. What can you tell us about that? Because I think this is a fascinating aspect of one of the many programs that the Y has.
You know, some of the results, you know, that, you know, people will come back and talk to us about. A couple of our participants have said, you know, I don't fall anymore. That's a big deal in somebody's life. I mean, if you're falling multiple times throughout the day, you know, we're looking at the possibility of a broken hip, a broken arm, you know, that takes you down a rabbit hole that is not a fun ride, and that can end in a very bad way. So if we can help you stop falling, or if you do fall and you're like one of those saying, no pun intended, I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, we're going to teach you how to get up. So we educate you. If you have fallen, and we have mat, like a huge gymnastic mat that we actually make them get down on, and they have to crawl, and we teach them how to get up off the floor. So, there's a lot of little tips and tricks that we send home with them in order to help them have that better quality of life.
And the thing is, everybody there has Parkinson's, so everybody can appreciate it or have been at the level that the person coming into the class was at.
Yes. And, and the beauty, or I call it kind of the magic, is everybody's at a different level with their Parkinson's right now. So, I mean, they're not like all level straight across the board. So one person may be experiencing something that they don't know how to handle, but somebody else in that group has already been there. And so they can help each other and say, well, look, these are things that I did when I was
at your level.
And, it's just the beauty of the friendship. Most people with Parkinson's, once they're diagnosed, they tend to withdraw. And they don't want to go out, and they don't really want to be around people that much.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
Yeah.
And people, people are still, they don't do it to be mean, but, when staring, and the whispers. But in this group, you're in a safe group because you're all on the same playing field.
Right.
So they can have fun again. They can make jokes about their disease. They learn how to laugh again. And if they're going to poke fun, I mean, okay, it's amongst each other. We laugh with them, not at them.
Right.
And so it becomes a very beautiful, safe space for them to be in.
Now, what is the number that they should call at the Y?
That would be 864-223-9622.
Right. It's always bad when you ask somebody that number, and they're like, I'm always ready in case you don't have it. But that is great. Now, those are some of the, in fact, we talked about some of those programs the last time y'all were here, and we went in depth. Today, we want to talk more about what is involved in a membership, because I think sometimes people are trying to compare apples to onions when they're comparing fitness places, right? Would I be correct on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think, Sonny? What are some of the differences in the type of programs that y'all offer versus fitness place X?
So we offer a lot of fun things at our Y. We offer 65 group exercise classes every week, ranging from Pilates reformer to water aerobics to Zumba. Anything to your heart's content, we try to offer. We also offer Child Watch, so that is where if you want to come work out but you have a small child, they can stay in our Child Watch area for up to 2 hours while you're working out.
Do you have to pay extra?
No, as long as the child is also included in your membership, it is included.
Okay, all right. So, okay, and so it's kind of like a babysitting service. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, that's a big perk, right?
It is.
Yeah, that is a big perk.
It's used a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. And you have somebody watching the children doing some little activity or something?
Yes. So our staff, they play games with them. We have a bunch of toys in there that they can play. We have a little outside playground if the weather's nice. They go outside. All that fun stuff.
That's great. That's great. So, all right. So now, one of my questions would be, since we've been having on the radio the spin class, the Zumba class, the yoga class, what if you try out a class and you go, well, this isn't for me, or maybe you've been doing the glowing spin class and you're tired of that one. Can you just change classes?
Yes. Anytime, if you get bored, you're welcome to join any other class that we offer.
Wow. Now, how do people know about the schedule?
So we print it out about a week before the month starts. So I'll have the February schedule out first of next week. We put it on our website that you can pull up. We post it on our bulletin board.
You have a huge bulletin board over there with people's faces and all this kind of stuff, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So, were you going to say something, Jan?
No, she was rolling, and I wasn't going to step in on that.
Yeah. So, and now, do the class times change, or are they pretty much set?
They're pretty much set. If we find that there might be a change that could appear, we always wait till the next month before we make that change.
Okay. All right. So you said you've got 65 different types of things. What kind of exercise programs do you have? Sharissa, can you fill us in on some of those?
Certainly. Well, we have for your early morning, you can do a spin classes. I am very particular about our sunshine sweat on Fridays at 8:30. You should join me. We have the reformer.
Oh, wait a minute. You talk about the sweat. I mean, and that your glow will last all day. I mean,
No, you get it at 8:30 in the morning. It's definitely going to last all weekend.
Now, what about if you needed a shower?
Oh, we have showers. There's steam rooms also in our adult male and female locker rooms. There's lockers that you can rent if you want to keep your stuff in there, but there's also ones that you can just bring your own lock. Just make sure you just have it for the day.
Right. Okay. All right. So go ahead. Tell us some more about some of these 65. That's a lot.
It is. We have a phenomenal line dance instructor who her energy is just out of this world.
Line dancing?
Yes, ma'am. It is fun. It was the only class that would get me there on the weekends. Unfortunately, we don't have it on Saturdays anymore. But you can have classes that are based on conditioning and HIIT intervals. You can sometimes see that with me. 4:30, Colleen, who is our AM instructor, you are always going to get a really good HIIT class with her.
What class?
HIIT, high intensity.
See, you guys use these short acronyms, but for those of us that aren't there, we don't know. Okay.
But we also make everything very scalable. I don't want to say that and scare anyone away, but there's ways to progress and regress. We just ask that you let us know.
To regress?
It's with the movement.
Yes.
So say that, hey, I don't like to jump, and the instructor's telling you to do jump squats. You can do speed squats. So your instructors are definitely going to make sure that you feel safe where you're at that day. You also have strength-based classes. Jan does a phenomenal one on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can get there tonight. That's 5:30. I do a butts and guts on Wednesday morning.
Oh, what's butts and guts? Come on
just
now.
as it sounds.
You got a gut, but no butt? No, you got a butt and a gut.
We work on core strength and legs. So there's no cardio in that class. It is pure strength. And I actually do it as a 4-week series. Not saying that you can't just come in at any one. But usually the beginning of the month, I will really set up the foundation so that everyone knows the movement and how to properly perform it in their bodies, or modifications if someone can't do a squat. But then sticking with that program, you have 4 weeks to see yourself improve and progress so that you can lift a little bit heavier in a safe space. We also have Zumba, which I know we've had commercials for.
Yes.
Again, that one is going to be a wild dance ride. We also have TRX. And
what's that?
The TRX suspension, it is humbling, but definitely worth a shot, worth a try.
Humbling?
Yeah.
Definitely worth a shot. Now, what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, it's a suspension system. So you really have to have a lot of body awareness. And a lot of...
I'm aware that my body is out of shape. That's what I get out of it. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry. What does that mean?
You want to take this one, Jan?
I can. So TRX, you're using body weight as the resistance and angles. So the deeper the angle, they reference it in TRX as a vector, but the deeper the angle or the steeper the angle, then the more difficult the movement becomes.
Okay.
So I can take someone on TRX and make it as simple as lifting 5-pound dumbbells, or I can take that same movement and make it seem like you're lifting 50-pound dumbbells. So there's a lot of room to grow into it as you get stronger. It's all core based, meaning it's all about ab strength.
Right.
Whether you're in what we call face down, which is where you would do your actual abdominal work.
Face down?
Face down. Yeah, they call it face down. There's face down, meaning you're going to be doing ab work. There's face up. So you're still on the floor, but now you're on your back, and that's for hamstring work. And then, of course, there's just standing. but the idea behind it is everything you do is from a plank position, whether you're down or up. You're maintaining a perfect plank position, which forces you to engage your core and your glutes. And then you get to perform all kinds of fun exercises.
Now, that sounds very interesting. But here's my question. How does somebody know when they come there what they should be doing? Oh, I know. You guys take a look at us and you go, you need this one.
That's a fair question.
Right.
And I think, from my perspective,
right,
people will say, I want to join the YMCA.
Okay.
And I want to lose 20 pounds today. Or not today, but I want to lose 20
2
pounds.
weeks. In 2 weeks, I want to lose 20 pounds. Right.
But I want to lose weight. I want to tone up. And so they have the best, intentions. And then they walk in, and we are, if you've never been in our YMCA, it is massive. And we have 2 fully functioning gyms. People will walk in, and it's like, oh,
where do I go?
Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Right.
So what we do is, if you want to learn how to use our equipment, we'll do 3 1-hour orientations. So one of my fitness coaches will start to take you through and teach you how to use that equipment. And that's paramount. If people don't understand how to use it, they're not going to use it, and then they're going to leave.
Or they'll use it wrong, right?
Exactly. So 3 1-hour sessions with a fitness trainer, and they'll teach you how to use all that equipment. Now, a lot of times just in dialogue, I'll talk people up and say, like, what do you like to do? Do you like cardio? Do you think you might like lifting weights? Do you like to dance? Do you want to stretch? So, usually once I open that door, I should have been a priest. People tell me everything. So once they start telling me, what their vision.
The next show we're doing, folks, is confessions that Jan has heard from other people.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
That would be hilarious, but that is a true statement. But, once people start chatting with you,
Right.
they start kind of sharing stuff, and then you can kind of piece it together for them and make some suggestions. What I always tell people is, out of 65 classes, there is something here for you,
And then plus the times that they're offered. You got to match that up too, right?
Yes. So, I always explain to them, you might walk in and think, I'm going to love Zumba. And then you go, oh, that was not my cup of tea, which is okay. But you might turn around and go, well, I'm going to try a line dance class.
Right.
That might be your cup of tea. So it's really just kind of testing, kicking the tires, and trying different, classes that we offer.
Right.
And I always say, you're not going to hurt an instructor's feeling. If you're 30 minutes in and you go, this is just not making me happy,
right.
That's okay. Excuse yourself. You're allowed to leave. We aren't going to chase you down the hallway. But part of our job is just in dialogue to talk to you, trying to fit you in or plug you in where we think the best fit is. Sometimes we're wrong, but a lot of times I think we hit it pretty right.
Right.
And we got classes as early as 5:30 a.m. And
Good
as
for you.
late
Good
as
for you.
6:30 p.m. So really, wherever you are in your day, if you need to work out before work, on your lunch break, after work, we have something for you.
I always say, if you can't find something in that building that just, makes you smile,
you're not trying.
no, they're not trying. They're really not.
Now, what about the pool? Because how many other workout places have a pool?
Just us.
Just us.
That's
We
right.
have a very nice pool that is open 7 days a week.
Okay.
We offer open swim where members can do lap swimming. We offer water aerobics classes. We offer swim lessons, swim team for the kids, anything to your heart's desire.
What about for people with arthritis and?
So that would be our one of our water exercise classes. It is Monday through Friday. We offer a 9 a.m. and a 1 p.m. The Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, they use their body weight. So they're in the water. They work on balance, range of motion exercises with that nice warm water. And then the Tuesday, Thursday class, they use floatable boards and weights and do kind of like a silver sneaker strength-based class.
Okay. All right. And then you also are teaching children or adults, I don't know, but how to swim.
Yes, so we start at mom and tot class, so with the toddlers, and we go all the way up to adult for swim lessons.
No, I think that's important. I think a lot of people have not learned how to swim, and now probably do you have adults that go, I've never learned how to swim?
You would be surprised, yes.
No, I wouldn't, but I mean, I would be surprised that they'd actually admit it, because I know so many people, if you go out on a boat, oh, I don't know how to swim, you know, yeah.
Life vest.
Yeah, right.
Please.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, we get a lot of people that don't know how to swim as adults.
Right.
You know, and they come in and they get swim lessons. Understanding how to swim, I mean, I lived on Lake Greenwood for 26 years. Mm-hmm. And I cannot tell you, out of those 26 years, every summer was a nail biter for how many times somebody would drown because they didn't know how to swim.
Right.
Or their children didn't know how to swim.
Right.
You know, and so it's an important skill to learn.
Right.
And I mean, it can save your life.
Now, I remember, I think it was it last year? I know it was sometime last year. Y'all spent a lot of money getting these new scrubbers or something that keep it so you never smell the chlorine in there now. I mean, that is an amazing factor.
Oh, my gosh. It is very expensive, too.
Right.
My goodness. And we also...
But, I mean, when you look at service for a community, because sometimes people go, I don't want to go get that chlorine or smell that chlorine and everything, right?
You don't smell the chlorine. I mean, I understand that, you know, and I always kind of giggle, but that is a true statement. You walk in and you do not smell any chlorine in our pool at all.
Right. So that was a real expensive upgrade, but I'm sure that's one that has been highly appreciated.
Very much so. Very much so. Yes.
Yeah, for everyone. Now, Allison does a lot of the training on the swimming, correct?
She does. Allison Mundy is our aquatics director.
Mm-hmm.
So the pool is her sandbox, so to speak. Her baby. There you go.
Yeah, her sandbox. That doesn't sound right. Yeah.
We really don't want sand in the pool.
Right. But then you do have the showers, and like you said, you even have a steam room, right?
Mm-hmm. We do.
And no additional charge for any of that?
No.
See, that's what I think people don't understand about the Y. That, yes, there are some things that you charge for, but a lot of you could pay that membership fee and find something in there that you would enjoy for no additional charge.
You know, and I think too, you know, I don't want to, you know, be negative against our competitors, but when you look at what we offer.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. I always try to be nice, you know. But you know, when you nailed it. It's like an orange against an onion. You know, we have staff on the floor, all shifts, to monitor that floor to make sure that people are being safe, you know, and not, you know, doing some crazy YouTube move that's going to get them injured. So, you know, if you have a question, we have
how to adjust that for your size, for your how tall you are and everything. That's probably another thing.
You know, they're there to help you figure things out, and you know, you don't see that in other gyms, and not to this magnitude. You know, I mean, that is their job. Make sure people are, you know, feel welcomed, you know, that they're in a safe space, and that, you know, they understand how to use our equipment. It's not, you know, it's not just, yeah, welcome, okay, there it is. You know, yeah, we really want you to understand the dynamic of how does that piece of equipment work, because we want everybody to have a positive experience.
Sure. Well, that's what the Y. Now, we have the big Y over there on Calhoun, but you also have the Uptown Y that has a great place just for going in and working out real quick with the machines, or I understand they have small group training too. But if you just want a quick workout, woo.
It's, yeah, you know, and part of this, you know, the idea behind bringing the Uptown Y was to accommodate the people that worked in the city. So, you know, we understand if you work uptown trying to drive, and I know this is not Atlanta, but driving from uptown at lunchtime back to our YMCA, meaning the big YMCA on Calhoun Road, you know, you're probably looking at 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Well, if you've only got an hour for lunch,
Yeah.
You're eating up time, whereas uptown, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. So you can get your workout in a timely manner. If you need a shower, get a quick shower, get dressed, and go back to work in that 60-minute time frame.
Absolutely. Well, these are some of the things that we're talking about with the YMCA gals here, Sharissa, Sunny, and Jan. I'm sure if you're a member of the Y that you know this. And, I know we have this special going on for to get new members, but I think even members that have been members for a long time sometimes forget about all the possibilities. I think people get in a rut. You always go at 5:30 in the morning. You always do this, and you don't experience some of the other things there.
And that's something that we try and gently nudge, our members toward. So a lot of times if my classes, I need a sub, I won't tell them when I'm going away. Because, people get used to and like what they,
right?
That specific. But I want people to experience all of our instructors because they're all really great instructors. And so, it gives them a chance to see how somebody else will teach a class. And then it makes you go, oh, well, maybe I want to take that class sometimes.
Right.
So it's just a gentle way to push them out of the nest and say, it's okay. You can try something different.
Sure. Well, I think that's great. But I do think that we as humans get used to just being in a rut. And we don't, and then sometimes because you get in a rut, you don't continue your fitness journey because you're in a rut and you don't even expand yourself and look at other things.
And that's true. I think it's just a fact you get comfortable.
Right.
I know the routine. I know how hard I'm going to work today, whereas, if you walked in and did Sharissa's class and you've never done it, you're going to know you got a workout. Oh, yeah. I mean, and Sharissa's class concept is completely different from my class concept. So I've heard people cross.
She wanted to play the drums. She wanted to play the cymbals. She has now accomplished that.
So if her people were to cross over into my class, it would be a whole different, and people will
Even though she's pregnant?
Even though she's pregnant. Even though she's pregnant. So, it's just, it's learning to just say, please, just go try this class.
Sure.
You're going to be surprised. You probably will enjoy it, and then that gives you a wider canvas to play with.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about how much it actually charges to become a member of the Y, the advantages of this $25 for 1 month. You really only have, 10 more days to sign up. And it's good for 30 days from the day you sign up.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a boon to your program, to your availability of learning about the Y for just $25. So we are going to listen to some music on Facebook Live. We're going to listen to some ads on the radio. Don't you go away. We will be right back here at WCRS Radio with Jan, Sunny, and Sharissa. Don't you go away.
From WCRS Studios in Greenwood, South Carolina, this is Meet Me at the Diner with your host, Ann Eller.
Oh, that's right. We're right back here at WCRS Radio. Yes, I'm Ann Eller. Yes, I have the Y Girls, the Y Girls. We're having a good time here today because we're talking about all things YMCA, the Lakelands YMCA. They have a special going on, $25. Try it, like it, kick the tires, see if you'd like to become a member long term. And of course, there is no long-term membership. It's just month to month. And give it a try and make sure you find something you like. And with over 65 programs going on, if you want to work out, there will be something that you will look forward to doing. So, Sonny, can you tell us a little bit about the cost? How much does it cost to be a member of the Y?
So we offer various memberships. So if you are a single adult, we offer a $48 membership per month. All of our memberships include a $25 joiner's fee.
But
so
you won't have to pay that this time.
No, you won't have to pay that if you join in the next 10 days.
Okay.
But we also offer a family membership. So that is 2 adults and all children in the household under the age of 25. We have that for $69 a month. If you are a senior adult, it is only $36 a month.
What a bargain.
Exactly. And if you are a senior couple, it is only $59 a month. And then say, oh, I don't really want it for myself, but my kid really wants it, or I'm in college, we have a student or young adult membership for $28 a month.
Those are bargain prices. I mean, when you look at all the different things, if you were just saying just workout equipment versus workout equipment, maybe not. But when you look at all the varieties and all the classes, no comparison.
No.
No comparison.
No.
Jan, what did you want to say? I could tell you wanted to say something there.
No, so I believe, Sonny, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you are a member, not in pricing, your children get a discount for our children programming. Am I right?
Yes. So I know on swim lessons, summer camp, trying to think.
Soccer? I mean, what about
sports, youth sports? So we have soccer coming up. You get a discount if you are a member, and if your kids are a member, you get a discount. So various ways that you can get the whole family involved.
Right. So when we look at, and the tagline that y'all have, what is it, Jan?
Well, the correct version is self-care is the new health care.
Now, what does that mean? Because, we say that all the time. I think I understand it, but what does that mean in today's world?
Well, in today's world, I think everybody needs to take a step back. Taking control of our own health care, meaning each individual, we're responsible for us.
Right.
I'm responsible for me, my actions. And so when we say self-care is the new health care, it has to start with you. You have to be the one to decide, that I want to take better care of myself. And of course, my question, might be, well, why did you decide this? And their answer should be, because if I'm healthy, then I can take care of my family better.
Right.
I can instill better values, health from the health end of it, from a whole family. And I think that matters. When you look at South Carolina as a whole, we're not doing really well in numbers when it comes to health. We rank in the high. What number are we for diabetes?
Top 6.
Top 6 in the country.
In the country. That's horrible.
It is horrible, and it breaks my heart, and the list keeps going. Obesity, in our children, astronomical, and so, it has to start with the parents. It has to start with the adults. And so I say self-care is the new health care. If you were flying on a plane, here's my analogy, and the oxygen comes down out, the first thing they tell you is put your own oxygen mask on.
Right.
Then assist your children or the elderly.
Right.
So it's the same thing in your home. It has to start with you.
Right.
And then this grows into a family affair. And then you have a healthy unit. And that is what my message is, in the community. the healthier our whole community is, the better our community as a whole will be.
Well, then that means that we don't have as much running to a doctor for this or for that. And and in today's world, if you're not taking care of yourself, you are at the mercy of everybody else. And, you've got to make good decisions for you.
You do. So it does. It literally, self-care is the new healthcare. It all starts with each and every one of us. And then we have to project that out if it, family-wise,
Sure. Absolutely. So that is why the YMCA, I think, is such an excellent choice, is that they care about your total health, not just are you coming and paying a fee every month and just using the machines, or maybe you're not coming every month and we're just making money because you're paying that fee that I'm not going to mention, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
That is true. Yes, I get it. We're a business. Do we have to make some money? Yes. We have to pay the light bill like everybody else.
We got to pay for you guys.
But we're not. But we are a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So it's not like we're rolling in money. We actually scholarship a lot of our money out for like children that can't afford camp. People don't realize that. They just think, we're making money, but we give a lot of our funds back to the community. And so that's when we say, we are community based. We are here to take care of the community. We are here to take care of our children, and try and help them have the best quality of a healthy lifestyle that we can possibly promote.
Well, if we get our children started at an early age on that, the future is a lot better for that number 6 in the country for diabetes or something like that.
It does make a huge difference. I don't like that we're ranked number 6 in the United States for diabetes. I'm like, that's nothing to be proud of.
Sure.
I would rather have it be that we're at the bottom of that list.
Right.
Because we're doing all the right things. Sometimes, it has to do with education. People just don't always understand, what it takes to get to that point.
Well, don't you think, though, that people quite often think, well, I take this pill, I can just keep doing what I'm doing. Well, a lot of people do think that, though. You're shaking your head over there, Sharissa, but a lot of people think, let me just take the pill and then I can eat whatever I want, do whatever I want. And the reality is,
that's not sustainable. We need to start looking at our food and our movement as our medicine first. Yes, 100% there is a place for medicine. I'm not saying that. But a lot of our chronic diseases are lifestyle based. So how much of your day are you sitting compared to getting up and moving? When you open your cupboards or your refrigerator, how much of that food is processed and not fresh?
Do you teach them about that in your diabetes class?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Well, that's good. That's great, yeah.
Yeah, knowledge is power. And we also, kind of a fun little thing, we have a calendar, a giant one on the wall, and each month we try to educate people with something different. So whether it's cooking healthy, knowledge about diabetes, this month is definitely self-care, having a lot of fun with that.
Right.
And then just knowing the community, we go out. We don't just sit in our office or stay in the room when we're teaching, but when we're not doing those stuff, we're walking the halls, we're saying hi to people and connecting and asking, how are you? Or, hey, I haven't seen you for a little bit. Is everything okay? So we really try to
get some of this. What do you care? What are you asking me that for?
You'd be surprised. Most people are like, whoa, really?
Yeah. Okay.
That's true.
And those lead to conversations that can be really life-changing for some people.
Well, particularly if you had somebody that's been out, that they've been sick, or maybe they've been diagnosed with something, they may open up, and then that gives you the option to say, well, did you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well played, Ann.
That's true. Well, Sunny, what do we do for children? What do we do for children at the Y?
So for the children under the age of 10, of course, is Child Watch that we talked about earlier, where if your parents bring you to come work out, you can hang out in Child Watch, play games with the other kids and our staff. But for our teenagers and our preteens, if you're ages 10 to 12, your parents can sign you up for what we call a cardio orientation. That means you get to meet with one of our fitness coaches and learn all about our cardio equipment, how to use it, all the safety features, things that make it fun to come and work out. And then once you graduate with that, you can work on any of our cardio equipment in our wellness center. Then when you're 13 and 14, you can get our weight orientation, where you learn about our weight machines and how to start building strength in your body so that way you can continue to be a healthy child. And then at age 15, we have one more orientation, which is for our athletic performance gym, which is all of our free weights, our plate-loaded equipment, so that way you can work out continuously.
So by doing these programs, I would be curious. Have you seen maybe children that came in a little overweight and then started becoming part of the Y program and seen a difference?
Yes. I've seen several kids that have come in that have started to like working out, and they've actually said, you know what, I want to try and get better so I can go play a sport.
Wow.
The confidence that comes with it.
Yeah.
Confidence, yeah, I would think confidence would come with it. And if they hadn't had the exposure, and kids today don't go outside and play the way we used to when all of us were growing up here.
Well, some of us.
All right, Sharissa. Okay. Well, going out and playing was.
I went and played as a
went and
child.
played.
Oh, I
Thank
was
you.
definitely out in the yard.
Okay. All right, Sharissa. I thought she was talking
Oh,
because
no, I was pointing at
She
this
was pointing at me, but I did play as a child.
you did play as a child.
Outside, yes. At the
Played
lake
a
every
child?
summer.
You played a child.
Played as a child.
Okay, all right. But I mean, they don't go out and play, and I think that's one of the advantages of the camp that y'all have in the summer is that you get kids outside to play and learn how to play.
Children have forgot. I mean, it's almost
They're
like
all about the screen.
Well, they are, and play is a dying art. I mean, I know as a child, I mean, we went out and we played cowboys and Indians. We built forts in the woods. I mean, and I get it, times have changed. Obviously, you have to be a little more mindful where your children are, but we still played. I mean,
Right.
and it was like the only time you went back into the house was for lunch
Dinner.
and dinner.
dinner,
I mean,
right.
and, that was it. The rest of the time, it was like, get out. Go
Well,
play.
a few years ago, it's probably more than a few years ago now, they were doing they had children do a survey, and they asked them, how many of you play baseball or softball, whatever? And all these kids said, yeah. And the county that this was being done in said, well, where are these kids doing it? Because they're not doing this with us in their county program. They were doing it on their phone.
Yeah.
Say, they were playing on their
Yeah.
phone. They weren't physically being fit
Yeah.
and playing.
It's a dying art to tell your child.
That's
to go
why
out
the
and
soccer
play.
program is so good, right?
Yeah. You're running, you're in a team concept. So, I mean, team, you got to
Right.
work together, but you're getting all that good exercise running up and down the field. I mean, camp, you're back there. They have huge logs and things that they can climb over. And I mean, it's just, you can just be a kid.
It's a paradise.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's fun.
it's fun. Do they have adult camp, Jan?
They should. We should. That would be a blast. Maybe that's something we need to look into.
Adult camp.
can
there
see
you
it
go.
now.
With arts and crafts and
Oh my gosh.
doing all that kind of stuff down there in the campground.
We could pitch tents,
Yeah.
sleep out.
Yeah.
Crochet.
Crochet.
No.
Arts and crafts.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
Not with
well,
crochet.
anyway,
Popsicle
that brings up another point though. The Y is ever changing. It's not a static organization with we do this at 8 o'clock, we do this at 10 o'clock. Yes, you may have a program like that, but if there is interest in coming up with a different type of exercise program or adding a different type of cohort program, that you look at putting it in place, right?
Absolutely. If you're not willing to grow, you're going to die. Your
Right.
business will die. And that's any business, not just us. I mean, I always giggle, but I think yes, I'm a director, but my best ideas don't come from me. Mm-hmm. They come from the team. They come from members.
Sure, I would think so, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, what did you say? Oh, I should have had a V8.
Right, yeah.
And we'll take it and run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is what makes the Y special. It's ever changing. It has oodles of programs. It has a pool. Just all these cool things that people don't always think about. And they always think, I think, is that, oh, the Y is so expensive.
I always say you get what you pay for.
Right.
You know, if you want to go to the purple box down the road, fine. You know, I mean, you've got exercise equipment, but you don't have the skill and the level of education behind it. And that's
right.
what we offer.
Right. And basically, that's what they have. Right.
Yeah.
They have the equipment. So if you want to take a Zumba, line dancing, yoga, spin classes, swimming, what else did I miss? Exercise,
We
reformer,
have reformer,
Yoga.
Hit.
What?
HIIT.
What's HIIT? Now, see, I don't think, have you told us that one?
Yeah. High intensity interval training.
See, there you go. See, you're using those acronyms, and I'm out of it here. All right. Well, these are some of the things that are available at your local YMCA. Jen, is there anything else we needed that we haven't talked about here this afternoon?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like we've covered everything that's pertinent that I think anybody would want to know if they were just calling and asking questions. I feel we've answered everything. But if we haven't, you know what you can do. You could call 864-223-9622.
And also come by for a tour.
Absolutely. We love giving tours. People think we're not as big as we are until they walk through our front doors and start walking the building, and they're rather shocked at how large we really are.
Yeah, you can get lost in that
Yes,
building
you
easy
can.
enough. Yes, you can. So go in and check them out. Now, Sonny, is there anything that you think we missed here?
I think not. I think we covered everything.
You think we covered everything, all right? Well, then let's ask Sharissa and see if she concurs.
Did we mention our hours?
No, we missed something. There we go. See, leave it to Sharissa to tell us the final
It
talk.
takes a team. So our hours, Monday through Thursday, are 5 a.m. for you early birds and 9 p.m. Friday, we are 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, we are 8 to 4, and Sunday, we are 2 to 6.
Wow. So there's lots of opportunity, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. So you just got to go check out the Y. That's what I want you to do. Go check out the Y. Get involved with this super special. You have till the end of the month to sign up for a 25. It's 2025. They thought 2025. $25 for 1 month of the Y. Get to see what they have. Ask a lot of questions. Try a lot of classes. You will be glad you did.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to say adieu. I think you have to go teach a class, do you?
I do.
What are you going to teach?
Sculpt class. So it's a weight training class.
That's it. We didn't mention that class. Sculpt class now.
Sculpt class. It's a weight training class. It starts at 5:30, so, you know, you have
29 minutes.
Yep.
28 minutes.
Okay.
28 minutes.
You got a little bit of time, not a lot. But come play. You know, it's a great way to learn how to lift weights in a safe manner.
And how to sculpt your body, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what's going on at the YMCA. Thank you so much, everybody. Check it out. What's that telephone number that they can call?
864-223-9622.
Oh, that was so nice. Can you do it again? Do it one more time for me.
864-223-9622.
Wow. That's going to do it for us here today. I'm not even going to try to say anything else. That's the end of the show. You're on WCRS with our YMCA gals. They'd love for you to come by and see them or give them a call. Do it today. You'll be glad you did. It's a new year. Take that opportunity. So, bye-bye, everybody. This is the end of the show. Take it away on WCRS Radio. Bye-bye, everybody.